Hi, frogs. Susu here, wallowing in the trash because after centuries of success, I have finally failed. Failure is definitely a matter of perspective. Dr. K makes a great point about this. He says our minds can turn anything into a perceived failure. Sometimes we set goals for ourselves, and in order to meet those goals, we start by making a change or a series of changes. Instead of feeling good that we took that initial step, that we even made an attempt, we flip a positive into a negative by admonishing ourselves for not applying these changes sooner, or not changing faster, or not being able to perfectly maintain that change. He calls this moving the goalposts. Wow, that was the best sleep I've ever gotten. Why can't I always sleep that well? Maybe I should sleep forever. See, it's so easy to turn a positive into a negative this way. Steve Jobs also mentions that failure can come from fear of not succeeding, which then causes inaction. He says many of his successes came from simply asking for help or asking for opportunities. We can't just expect opportunities to always come to us. We have to be proactive too. You guys remember Elliot Rogers? He went on a shooting spree, then booked a one-way ticket to the afterlife for himself because he couldn't get a hot, white, blonde SoCal girl to date him. His manifesto shares a lot of intimate details about his life, but never once mentions an instance where he made an attempt to flirt or ask any woman out and got rejected. To him, the fact that women weren't approaching him and throwing themselves at him was perceived as rejection. So instead of thinking, no woman has actually turned me down yet, he thought, women aren't coming up to me and swooning, guess I'll die and take whoever I can with me. After his demise, many women online expressed that they found him physically attractive and would have agreed to a date. Now, some of that might be thanks to hybristophilia, aka a freaky attraction to violent criminals, but he'll never know, because you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Maybe that wasn't the best choice of words. Like Steve Jobs said, if you don't ask or don't try, you're guaranteed to not succeed. Okay, but what about when we do try and we still don't get the results we were hoping for? It's also said that failure is part of eventual success, that it helps us learn, think positively, huff copium. How about no? Fuck positivity and let me wallow in my own despair. I know it comes off as defeatist to just fester in a stew of your own negativity, but feeling terrible and not bottling it up is a big part of healing. Thinking positively is really hard after a miserable and humiliating experience. Failing eats at our self-worth, erodes our happiness, and sometimes it feels too risky to even try again out of fear that you might face that same hideous defeat. I'm so tired of people acting like not pretending we're okay when we're feeling down is a bad thing. It's important to face our raw emotions. Just please try not to kill anyone. Thing is, people want to be seen as nice and positive so bad, even if it means lying. For example, employees ask you, "Hi, how are you?" at the store, not because they actually care and want to hear about it, but because it's the polite thing to do and it's their job to be nice to the customer. And when we're asked this, we're expected to answer, "Doing good," to be polite back, even if we're not doing good. Societal pressure just makes us want to be positive because we're socialized to not want to make others feel uncomfortable with the truth. How many times have you said, "doing good," or "I'm fine," when you are actually on the verge of falling apart? Any one of us are a few mistakes away from potential homelessness, doing the fent lean behind a Popeyes chicken, unable to even afford a two-piece and a biscuit combo because it was either the food or the fentanyl. You know what? This scene in the 2016 Angry Birds movie changed my life.
Hey, Red, how are you?
Oh, I'm horrible.
It feels great to be honest about feeling horrible. Like, I won't unload my sorrows onto the poor employee who's being paid to perform politeness, but no one is paying me to smile at the grocery store, so hi, I'm doing horribly. Thanks for asking. The truth really can set you free. Thanks, Angry Birds. All of us live with the fear of failure. All of us at some point have to Pick up the pieces of whatever's left after something crushes us, often multiple times. Each instance of failure can embolden us to try again with new knowledge and a new perspective, or that new knowledge can tell us that we shouldn't have tried it in the first place. Time to pack up and move on. Like, people who keep trying to make a bad relationship work until they realize through the agony of constantly failing that the relationship just isn't worth it anymore, that the healthiest option is to walk away. It can be hard to get away from someone or something bad for us. Some bad habits are really hard to break, which is why I'm eager to tell you about Fume. Fume is an award-winning flavored air device. It draws flavored air only into your mouth, no vapor, and no battery, so you can take it anywhere. There's no nicotine, and all flavors are non-toxic. Fume utilizes plant compounds in their flavors and are backed by doctors in the US as being safe to use. Fume is also here to help break bad habits by providing you with something healthy to focus on and fun to play with. Stopping a bad habit cold turkey is very hard, so Fume works by replacing your hand-to-mouth fixation, calming nervous tension through fidgeting, and distracting you from your bad habit with delicious flavor. My favorite is the cinnamon hearts flavor. This holiday season, you can give the gift of better habits with Fume. Head to tryfume.com/Susu and use code Susu to get a free Fume topper when you order a journey pack. It's the perfect addition to make your gift even more special. You could even win one of Fume's limited edition gold-plated devices. Try fume.com/Susu or just scan the QR code on screen to grab yours now and make someone's holiday unforgettable. At the start of the video, I mentioned I failed recently, and I'm really trying to take a positive spin on this, as unnatural as that feels. Lately, I've been asking myself, what would Sonic do? A while back, when I said that I wanted to diversify my videos, I warned you guys. I said some of my interests will be unpopular, and many of you probably wouldn't be into it. It's tough being right about everything, but it's my cross to bear. But how could this be? Like, I bared my very soul. I went outside where people could perceive my corporeal form. What do you mean my viewers didn't want to watch? And after so many of you said, we'll support you no matter what, was that a lie? Did you lie to me? Susu, please, just be yourself. Do what you want. Wait, no, not like that. You know what? I can't stay mad at you guys. After all, society conditions people to want to be perceived as nice above being honest. How many times has someone told you they appreciate honesty only for them to, like, get upset if the truth wasn't positive?
Hey, I need your opinion. Is this a good photo of me? Should I post it? That is not a flattering photo. Oh, okay, I see. So you think I'm fucking ugly.
The reality is that for most people, their support is conditional. It's depending on you doing the things that they like and approve of. Unfortunately, saying, I'll support you as long as you do what I like doesn't sound polite, but it's honest. Now, to be fair, many of you all meant what you said and have consistently been supportive throughout the evolution and current miserable downfall of my channel. Thanks! However, some of you are immune to my evil whore magic, probably like a side effect of microplastics and clogged pineal glands. This dulling of the senses is most likely why the media has switched to more overt and frankly tacky methods of mind control, like Cocomelon. I guess I need to get with the times too. Speaking of which, are you enjoying this atmospheric background music? That's thanks to the brilliant work of genius frog music composer Eddie Ewi, who I commissioned. He even hid the subliminal messages in the melodies, which is why you're still watching. Keep watching. Forever. You might wonder, if things were going well for me before, why bother changing? I decided to change everything video to talk about the direction I wanted to go with my channel. A lot of people came here after learning about me on MXR Plays because they would invite me to do reacts with them. But instead of reacts, I want my channel to focus on video essay, commentary, and think piece style content. But depending on the topic, those videos can take a while to finish because research is an important factor. I like to give proper facts and a well-rounded perspective. Research makes videos take longer to publish, but I hate channels that sacrifice research time by rushing to be the first to post about something so they can get the most clicks. Yes, they are producing videos faster, but oopsie, looks like they ruined someone's life by publishing a bunch of lies they thought were true because they didn't take a minute to fact check. Also, genuine and respectful recountings of terrible events don't get the same traction as tasteless, overly gratuitous, sensationalized retellings with graphic titles like Brutal Infant Massacre at Chuck E. Cheese, Baby Bloodbath in the Ball Pit. Morally and ethically, it's a huge failure that trash gets pushed to the forefront and shared the most, but according to the algorithm, bigger numbers means more ad revenue, so it's a success. Perspective. Also, any metal bands wanting to name themselves Baby, Ball Pit, Bloodbath are gonna have to fight to the death for the name. Anyway, that's why I like to take my time with my videos, so I'm not making the YouTube equivalent of something you'd read in a shitty tabloid paper, though they were kind of cooking with Bat Boy. I wanted to be able to post more frequently as well, so while I'm conducting my research, you all have things to watch. This led me to trying a new style of content. Big mistake! Susu flop era, Susu found dead in Miami. These videos took a lot of effort from me. I went outside, I even hired a camera guy, so for them to perform at a lower level than even some of my old, no effort React slop is a tragedy. For me mainly, because the camera guy / editor gets paid even if nobody watches. I also know that part of my recent failure was due to long breaks in between content this year. I didn't get to do as much as I'd like for a lot of reasons. My year has been full of amazing opportunities, most of which you'll actually see happen next year. Some really great life changes, but also I lost someone important to me recently. After it happened, I thought to myself, if only I reached out sooner, we would have more time together. So many dreams left unfulfilled because I didn't try hard enough. Why didn't I call more, visit sooner? It's too late now. I failed to be as involved as I should have, and while I grieved, I didn't spend much time online. I spent time with friends and family and offered my support to everyone who was also suffering from this loss. There's a void left behind that will never be filled, and we just have to accept that and keep going. I don't want to accept it. I'm looking into becoming a necromancer. I made one post recently about this to explain my absence to my most devoted cult members. I kept it very brief. Majority of people were understanding, but some weren't. Like, how dare I take time away from the essential work of being hot on the internet to be there for my family? Why don't I give every part of myself to people who are shitty to me on the internet? I've seen creators' mental health spiral and deteriorate because they were too open with what they shared of themselves, and that's what complainers are waiting for. Openings for them to slot their own narratives into our lives, make up what they want to tear others down. The only way to keep them at bay is to never share too much of ourselves, even if we want to. Because of this, I don't always express myself fully. It makes me feel like I'm failing to be authentic since I'm not sharing some of the things I'm actually passionate about. But like I said, being too open with what we share can create more problems. I post my feet online, I receive dollars. Great success. I post my political beliefs on the internet, I receive a pipe bomb in the mail. Wah wah wee wah. On a lighter of note, many of you aren't ready for my genuine interest in Sonic the Hedgehog. I love learning about different subcultures and fandoms, and I want to learn from and engage with all kinds of different people in my never-ending quest to understand the human mind so that I can master how to unhinge it. Some fools dared to call my pursuit of knowledge cringe, but I remain unshaken. This fear of enjoying things and being cringe holds so many people back from living life to the fullest. Hobbies and fandoms are the good kind of sharing. How can you sit there knowing every second that passes by we march closer and closer to oblivion, and you're sitting there not having fun because someone might say, "Ew, cringe"? The fulfillment and purpose we feel from being alive is the only thing that keeps many of us from spiraling into existential dread over the inevitability of death. Life is finite, and I'm too busy Sonic maxing to give a fuck about cringe. But even though I like these videos, in comparison to my other content, they got like a fraction of the views, whether this was because my audience hates me or because the YouTube algorithm hates friendship and joy, I can't say, but oh well, YOLO swag, fuck it, we ball to the window to the wall, as the great prophet Hannah Montana once said. Everybody makes mistakes, everybody has those days. So on the one hand, I could look at these videos as a total failure, or I could think to myself, what would Sonic do? Sonic would definitely find the good in this, so I will too. Despite less people watching, the video still maintained a 98% like ratio and positive comments. So this doesn't mean people hated my videos, more so that they didn't give it a chance, or YouTube itself didn't recommend it because it was so different from my other content, or because they hate friendship and joy. Anyway, viewership numbers can make us YouTubers feel like failures if that's all we look at. I feel really fortunate that I'm able to experiment with my videos, make memories with friends, and that there's people who watch. People out there enjoyed something I had fun making. That's cool. Thanks again, Fume, for sponsoring this video, and don't forget to check the link in the description for more Fume. Video is over now. Fuck off.